Hello everybody, I'm Michael Chavello. Welcome to the Crown Casino in Melbourne. Welcome to the battle for the World Super Heavyweight title. Joining me ringside is my verbal sparring partner, former Australian Cruiserweight Muay Thai champion Mark the Hammer Castanini. Tonight we are going to see something special. A full-blown Muay Thai fight with knees and elbows plus 3 world title fights on the card, including Tibet Hamza against Botha, Gurkan Ozkan against England's Trevor Ambrose, and the one we've all been waiting for, the main event for the World Super Heavyweight title between Australia's own Slam'em, Sam Greco, and South Africa's Bernardo. And earlier tonight we spoke to super promoter Tarak Solak. Tarak, fantastic venue here at the Crown Casino. Of course, ring sports coming to the Crown for the very first time ever. Kickboxing making its debut at the Crown. Obviously a big step forward for kickboxing.
Yes, it is a very big step for us, and we're very grateful for the Crown to allow us to put this first promotions in here. The reason why we are here is we want to give the sport a facelift in this country. In most countries like America and Japan, the casinos get very strongly behind the fight games like boxing and kickboxing. And as tonight, as you do know, we have a boxing fight, 2 Thai boxings and 4 kickboxing fights.
What's the purpose of combining the different styles of fighting here tonight? Not only kickboxing, but Thai boxing and boxing as well.
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One of them is I'm trying to show the audience all the fight games in the same night. And secondly, I am trying to move into the boxing fights as we eventually keep promoting.
Now, speaking of boxing, I heard that you've entered into discussions with Mike Tyson's management. Any truth to that rumour?
Yes, there's a lot of truth. We spoke a few times. They sent me an offer for their first fight. I will be giving them a counter offer back. It might be still a while away from me to promote a fighter like Mike Tyson, but then again, we don't know what's around the corner. Maybe with the Crown getting right behind us, we might be able to work some miracles.
And stepping into the ring for the first bout tonight, it's Damien Hawker, all the way from rural Victoria, near Nathalia. Tell us a little bit about Damien, Mark.
Well, Damien Hawker, Michael, he's certainly one big leg kicker coming from the Bob Jones Corporation. Of course, he said Nathalia is his hometown in the Goulburn Valley. Big, powerful leg kicker. Really a Thai fighter, but obviously fighting Chrisopoulides here tonight under the kickboxing rules.
And making his way to the ring is the man they call Mr. Charisma, led by his trainer, Pat the Phantom Chrisopoulides. It's Chrisopoulides here for this rematch with Damien Hawker.
Well, Michael, Chrisopoulides, he is getting better with every fight, this young man. He is a gentleman, a very humble fellow outside of the ring, but inside the ring, he's coming on. They call him Mr. Charisma. His technique is certainly improving with each bout, and he tells me that he's happy to take Damien Hawker on in the rematch and give it to him as good as he did in the first.
Okay, gentlemen, I've spoken to both of you in the back room. You got any questions at this time? Okay, listen to my commands. When I tell you to stop, stop. Defend yourself at all times. Touch gloves now, and in the last round. Good luck.
We are ready to kick off the action. Our first bout here tonight, the Australian Super Heavyweight title rematch between Chrisopoulides out of the red corner and Damien Hawker out of the blue corner. Your third man centering, referee Bryce Birtwistle. Of course, Mark the Hammer, your old trainer, Bryce Birtwistle.
Oh, yes, Michael, I've done many a round on the pads with Mr. Bryce Birtwistle, and he certainly prepares you well for any type of fight, whether it be in a tournament, in the ring, or anywhere. He's certainly one hell of a trainer. Not a bad referee either, I might add.
We remember the last time these two men fought each other. Damien Hawker went to town on Chrisopoulides with some huge leg kicks. Chrisopoulides fired back with his lethal hooks. There's that leg kick to the lead leg there from Hawker. That's the one which did so much damage last time. Chrisopoulides could hardly walk by the end of the bout. And you can bet that Pat the Phantom Chrisopoulides would have trained him to be checking those kicks here tonight.
Michael, talking to Pat Chrisopoulides earlier this week, he told me that they were preparing up, obviously, for Damien Hawker's big thumping leg kicks. But possibly, and just possibly, maybe Damien has changed his game plan a little from their first fight, of course, which is always a good tack, because you can often throw your opponent if you change your game plan and come in with a different style.
Chrisopoulides going headhunting with a big right hand. He'll have to keep his gloves up for this fight. He has a tendency to drop his gloves, and if Hawker comes over the top with a straight left or right of his own, could be lights out for the big man Chrisopoulides. Chrisopoulides just trying to feel his way there with the left hand, trying to draw Hawker back towards the blue corner.
Stop! Step back. Go, Chris, step off him.
And Bryce Burt, we're still doing a job of keeping it nice and clean at the moment. End of the first round of action. Mark the Hammer, how did you see that one?
Well, it was a fairly even and slow start to the first round. Chrisopoulides going headhunting on Damien Hawker. But Damien in turn just happened to stick a move and fire in those leg kicks. As I'm looking at the statistics here, punches 11 to Chrisopoulides and only 4 to Hawker. We see the boys going at it there. Chrisopoulides just barreling his way forward, and that's something that Hawker's going to have to do. He's going to have to get out of the way of those forward onslaughts, because as you can see, Chrisopoulides certainly got a bit of weight behind him, and you don't want to be barreled up in the ropes or in the corner with that much energy coming towards you. On the kicks, strangely enough, Chrisopoulides also taking the lead there 7-2 from Hawker, and Hawker, that was the leg kicks, of course, and I would have expected that to be the other way around, but generally a good first and even first round.
Round 2, Kelly Jones, WAK Australian Super Heavyweight Championship.
Go around, let's clean up in there, please, Pat. Go, fight!
We're underway in the second round of action. Chrisopoulides comes out firing with that left hand, drawing Hawker back into the neutral corner.
Stop, fellas. Listen to me, come on. It's not wrestling, keep it tidy, all right? Fight! Stop! Stop, step back.
Damien Hawker a little on the back foot here. He's, seems fairly wary of those punches of Chrisopoulides.
Damien Hawker just taking a blow to the groin. And he'll get a moment to breathe it up here. 1997, last year was a big one for Chrisopoulides when he really came to prominence.
There you see the groin strike that caught Hawker sweet. It was not intentional, but nevertheless it was right on the button, so to speak. And Hawker's going to take this minute's rest to try and recover.
Let's go. Right,
As I was saying, Chrisopoulides winning the Australian title against Tim Montgomery by knockout in 1997. Chrisopoulides aggressive again. They trade a bit of leather over in the blue corner.
Step back, let him go. Don't hit him underneath. Let him go, come on. Get it right back, right away. Fight!
Last time we saw Chrisopoulides in action was here on Fox Sports in April when he knocked out the Duke, Steve Irvine, in the second round. Hawker just collecting him in there with a nice left hand. Mark, so far, Hawker not using his leg kicks to as great effect as he did in their last battle.
Well, Hawker's not really taking the fight up to Chrisopoulides as he did in their first encounter. He's certainly backing off a lot more here, Michael, and he's really not putting his kicks in with as much conviction as he did.
Chrisopoulides tried to line his jaw up with a big right hand, didn't quite come off for him.
Well done, wipe your gloves, Chris. Wipe your gloves.
A big slinger indeed with his hands and his legs, Chrisopoulides. There he is, got that right hand cocked and ready for action. 20-kilo weight difference between the two men. Chrisopoulides at 120, Hawker at 100.
Let's go, step back. Come on, Chris, off him. Come on, straight punch him, let's go.
Chris looking a little tired already, just a touch of blood there trickling from his nose. Certainly... Certainly Chrisopoulides doing all the chasing, Damien Hawker doing all the fancy footwork, but I'd have to say Chrisopoulides is landing a bit more technique, and at this stage, although he looks a bit tired and he is being predictable with his punches, he's taking this fight right up to Damien Hawker and just having a quick look at the stats, I see that Chrisopoulides is leading the stakes all round with 13 punches, 8 kicks, as opposed to Hawker, 6 punches, 2 kicks. So the story tells the tale there with Chrisopoulides always pushing forward. Here we see Damien Hawker trying to keep him away, and Chrisopoulides just letting that big right hand go and then trying to work the body. Hawker tying him up and losing his footing, goes to ground. But as I said, Chris is certainly pushing up a lot and giving it his all.
Round 3.
Clean that corner, please, Pat. Let's go.
Into the third round of action. Chrisopoulides opens up like a house on fire. Hawker backed against the ropes early on.
Step back, fellas. Come on. Once his head's underneath, there's
And
nothing happening.
Chrisopoulides
Come on.
going, swinging with those left and right hands. Hawker lines up the big leg kick.
There's one of those big trademark leg kicks, unfortunately just missing. But that's what he did a lot more of in their first encounter, and he landed a lot more as well.
Stop. Stop. His head's underneath.
Chrisopoulides will have to keep his hands up. He likes to go in swinging, but at the same time he can't forget his defences.
Stop. Stop. Nothing in. Come on, fellas. Don't push off. What?
Nice round kick to the body there by Hawker. Chrisopoulides followed him right through and against the ropes again. Almost a minute down in this round.
Well, Hawker's got to get busy. Chris is getting a little tired here, and this is where Hawker could take it up to him, but he keeps backing off and letting Chris take the initiative. There's a bit of the Chrisopoulides charisma coming through.
Stop. Stop. Let him go, Chris. Don't fall on him.
Well, this fight marks scheduled for 5 rounds. Chrisopoulides looks like he's trying to suck in some air already.
Don't fall on him.
Well, yeah, Chris looked a little fatigued, probably from the word go. His fitness may be down a touch from the last time we've seen him, but Damien Hawker is very, very flash and light on his feet, but once he pops those front kicks and those jabs, Chrisopoulides just walks right through them, and that's the difficulty when you're fighting up in these heavy ranks and your opponent has 20-odd kilo on you.
The big man Chrisopoulides showing a little bit of agility there with an attempted spinning back kick. Nice front kick up to the face area there from Damien Hawker, then caught him with the left hook. Into the third round of action, Mark the Hammer Castanini. How did you see that one?
Well, it's just going down the same road, Michael. He's still just sort of backpedaling a little Damien Hawker, which of course he has to do to some extent because of Chrisopoulides' great weight difference. But you've got to be working, you've got to be popping the kicks, he's got to be hammering away at those legs and also working the body with punches. But he just seems to be backpedaling a lot and waiting for Chrisopoulides to unload on him.
Seconds out. Round 4.
Let's go, Red. Tidy that up in the corner, Pat, please. All right, let's go. What? Nice and
Into the
clean,
4th round of action. Hawker starts it off with a leg kick and then a nice front kick to the face. He caught Chrisopoulides with that one. Seemed to infuriate Mr. Charisma.
Have a look at those welts on the back of Hawker, Michael. I don't know what they're from, but they're certainly leaving nice red marks.
Chrisopoulides just leading with the left hand, came over the top of the right. Hawker wobbled over in the blue corner. Well, Chrisopoulides unleashing some salvos early on in this round. We're only 30 seconds down.
Hawker's been very predictable with that lead hook and swinging his punches fairly wildly. He should be punching a lot straighter. He's working the front kick to good effect, but unfortunately his punches haven't got enough behind him, or not enough at least to stop Chrisopoulides. Chrisopoulides getting a warning for an illegal groin strike in the clinch.
It's a point deduction, actually.
It is a point deduction.
Well, that could be very costly indeed for Chrisopoulides, who's been doing a fine job so far. Comes in firing again with the big left hook. And there's a nice front kick off the right leg by Damien Hawker. Dropped Chrisopoulides to the canvas.
Well, he took Chrisopoulides when he was off balance, I suppose. He had one foot up in the air, and Damien Hawker timed that front kick perfectly.
1 minute 25 gone in this round. Is Chrisopoulides frustrated now, Mark, that he's been deducted 1 point?
Well, it's certainly, you can kiss this round goodbye, I suppose, unless he does something like gives Hawker an 8 count. But Hawker's just got to stick and move now, and he'll salvage this round. But Chrisopoulides got to be doing a lot more.
Chrisopoulides, still the aggressor, waiting with that left hand. Hawker still not really finding the target with those leg kicks as much as he should be. And there's the end of the round. Mark the Hammer Castellini, that one there going to Damien Hawker.
Well, Chrisopoulides is looking very weary, and I suppose that strike was a little bit layerising, but unfortunately it cost him dearly. And also, yeah, he's just the fatigue, I suppose, is just taking its toll, and he's doing some fairly uncharacteristic things for him. His technique isn't as tidy as I seen it in the last bout, but as I said, he's looking a little tired. The statistics are showing me punches 14 to Chrisopoulides, 8 to Hawker. So Hawker having a bit of a comeback in that round. There you see Chrisopoulides with that barrage about 20 seconds into that round, and he's right on to Hawker. But Hawker just evasive and doing everything he can to get out of there. And referee Bryce Birtwhistle right on the money to keep the boys tidy. See Chrisopoulides leading in with the hook. Hawker firing that front kick that took Chrisopoulides down there. And he's timing his front kicks well, Hawker. He's just got to put him right on and not let him skim off that wet skin.
Both fighters touch gloves. We're ready to rock and roll in the 5th and final round of action. Chrisopoulides comes out slugging again. Disappointing to have that point deducted in the last round for him after he was the busier of the two, as Mark said, between the break. 14 punches for Chrisopoulides to only 8 for Damien Hawker in the last round.
There's a bruising body shot from Chrisopoulides. Got that one right in on Hawker.
Hawker goes sweeping downstairs with the leg kicks. Chrisopoulides trying to back him against the ropes, keep him nice and close. That front kick to the face off the left leg, not really finding the mark on that occasion there for Hawker.
I'd say Chrisopoulides is getting a little frustrated on Hawker's evasive movements.
Big leg kick again by Hawker. Chrisopoulides took it on the shin and replied with one of his own.
Hawker taking a bit of a knee to the face there on the way down from Chrisopoulides, unintentional because he was had his momentum up throwing kicks.
About 50 seconds to go in this round, the 5th and final round of action. It's been an interesting rematch so far. Both men will really have to bring home the bacon in the last 30 seconds or so.
Both guys looking extremely tired here in the 5th and final round.
Chrisopoulides charging across the ring, ties Hawker up. And some oohs and ahs from the crowd. The force behind Chrisopoulides' punches. A nice leg kick to the lead leg by Mr. Charisma, firing out the big right hand again.
Hawker's got to power in a bit more with that front kick. He's just throwing it up. He's got to put it forward more so, and he'll probably take Chrisopoulides a little more. But he's just putting that front kick up as a token.
Final seconds of the round.
That's good, fellas. Keep working.
Nice round kick to the head there by Damien Hawker to end the fight. And there's the end of our super heavyweight rematch between Chrisopoulides and Damien Hawker.
Well, what a rematch. Certainly the boys better for the first clash. No one really had a clear advantage. They both nullified each other to some extent. The statistics again in that round showing Chrisopoulides having a clear sort of runaway tally with 18 punches to 8 from Hawker. The kicks are fairly even, 2 and 3 respectively. But Chrisopoulides just landing more clean punches. On my scorecard anyway, I'd have to say just apart from that, the 4th round where he had the point off, Chrisopoulides was the aggressor and probably was busier with landing more clean punches, whereas Hawker was always on the back pedal and not really powering up with his leg kicks as he did in their first encounter.
Okay, let's go to ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a split decision. Retaining his championship, Mr. Charisma, Chrisopoulides.
Well, there you have it, Mark the Hammer. A split decision going the way of Mr. Charisma, Chrisopoulides, and in the end, as you said, I think he was the aggressor for the entire bout.
Well, Michael, I don't think Damien Hawker did as much in this encounter as he did in their first, but Chrisopoulides a worthy winner.
And stepping into the ring for our second bout of the night, it's the man they call Dean Keady. Stepping into the blue corner, Dean will be up against Nayef Kanj from the Tarak Solek stable here tonight. And making his way to the ring is the tall, gangly figure of Nayef Kanj from the Tarak Solek Academy. Mark the Hammer Castanini, tell us a little bit about Nayef Kanj.
Well, Nayef Kanj is a relative newcomer to big-time kickboxing. He's been on a lot of the major cards of late, but he's got a great height and reach advantage over the much shorter Dean Keady.
6 round super middleweight kickboxing.
Right. Welcome to center ring, gentlemen. You both had your instructions in the dressing room. Good, clean fight. Best of luck to both you boys. May the best man win. Shake hands now. Come on, fight at the bell. Doctors, yeah.
All is in readiness for our second bout of the night, a super middleweight contest scheduled for 6x2 between Nayef Kanj out of the red corner with George Fogus in his corner and Dean Keady out of the blue corner.
Our ringside position, Dr. Big Lewis, and we're ready to roll with our second bout, super middleweight kickboxing. 6 rounds USA rules. Keady blue, Kanj red. Round 1.
Both fighters touch gloves and we're underway.
Having a look at this big reach advantage that Kanj has, is working that jab already on Keady. As soon as Keady comes in with those kicks, Kanj is just popping off those punches, which is good work on his behalf from this youngster. Dean Keady, on the other hand, is a very experienced boxer. I'd go as far as to say that boxing is pretty much his strong point, his forte. You can easily tell that, just have a look at his shorts. He even wears the boxing style trunks. But he's a very tight boxer. Have a look at his stance. His hands are up, his guard's very sharp, and he'll give Kanj a real working over in close.
Tarak Solek telling me earlier this week that Nayef Kanj leaning more towards perhaps a future in boxing. Connects there with the nice left hand. Just under 50 seconds left in this round. There's been plenty of boxing in it so far. You can bet that Nayef Kanj can take some shots. Speaking to Gurkan Ozkan earlier this week, he said that Nayef can take quite a hit. During sparring earlier on, Gurkan threw everything at Kanj, including the kitchen sink, and the big man took it all.
Keady's either got to get in or out of range. He shouldn't be anywhere in between, because that's where Kanj is just going to pick him off. He's got to either be in and out with his kicking and his punching, rather than standing the middle ground where Kanj is just going to tick off on him.
Beautiful left hook on that occasion by Kanj. You could hear the slap of that left hook reverberate across this Crown Casino auditorium. What a sight it is to have kickboxing at the Crown here in Melbourne. End of the first round of action. Mark the Hammer Castanini, how do you like that?
Well, it was once again a good even start. Keady scoring with some good inside and outside thigh kicks on Kanj. Kanj, on the other hand, worked his jab quite well and caught Keady on the rebound, so to speak. So when he'd fire in that leg kick, Kanj would let him have it with the hands. You look at Kanj's work rate, 16 punches, Keady 7, and then it's reversed for the kicks. Keady 16 kicks, leg kicks that is, to Kanj's 5, so it's very much in opposite.
Fight.
Underway in the second round of action. Kanj going to the head early. Mark, we know that Kanj is leaning more towards his boxing skills, but with his incredible height, he really should be using that height to his advantage with his kicks more.
Well, he should be throwing a few more kicks in. They're going to score well for him. But I'll tell you what, Michael, I'm impressed with the way his boxing has come on since the last time we've seen him fight. His handwork is looking a lot more disciplined. That could be no doubt to the work that he's doing with the Fighting Fogus family in the Tarek Solak Braveheart gym.
And of course, coming up next, we will see a boxing fight between Marty Fogus, brother of Attila Fogus, and Sam Solomon, former Australian cruiserweight champion. But at the moment, it's Nayef, Kanj and Dean Keady. We're a minute down in the second round.
See Keady there just ticking off with that leg kick. And the inside thigh kick there. He keeps peppering away at Kanj's legs.
Nice leg kick for that lead leg again by Keady. Kanj checked that one, came over the top with the right hand.
If anyone watching this at home's ever had a cork thigh, you can maybe appreciate a little bit of the punishment that Kanj is getting to those inside and outside thighs. They're really, Keady's really powering in with the shin bone onto those thighs.
Kanj lines up the high head kick off the right leg. And calls from Kanj's corner to start working. 10 seconds to go in this round. There it is, the end of the second round. Mark the Hammer, an interesting tussle so far.
Well, it certainly is, Michael. It's a fairly even one at that. We've got Kanj piling up the points with his punches. Keady is on the other end of the scale and working the kicks. So from what we thought as the fighters entered the ring, is certainly an opposite of the tale. I'm looking at the fighters' work rate. You've got Nayef Kanj, 16 good clean punches, Keady 9. Leg kicks to Kanj, 1. There you see Kanj just going to work and getting that work rate up. And when we count the punches and kicks, of course, they have to be clean connecting ones. Never mind those ones that are glancing off the gloves. And we have a look at Keady's leg work, 14 connecting kicks in that round.
Makes more. Welcome, gentlemen. Seconds out, round 3.
Mark Jacko Jackson, one of the many celebrities here at ringside at the Crown Casino in Melbourne. Wherever you're watching this fight right around the country, I hope you're enjoying it as much as we are.
What a lovely room this is for kickboxing here at the Crown. It's a great honour to have kickboxing on display here at the Crown Complex.
Kanj trying to draw that big right uppercut. Keady goes down over near the ropes. Well, only a few seconds into the round. Nayef Kanj went to work early. Dean Keady is wobbled. I don't think he'll be getting up, Mark the Hammer. It's all over. It's good night for Dean Keady.
Oh, there you go, Michael. Kanj, what can I say? His handwork is looking superb tonight. Absolutely superb. He was certainly putting those punches on the button. And in that flurry, he threw at least 4 or 5 punches and good connecting ones at that. There we see him going to work, working the legs and the hands over the top. Keady copping the uppercut, the hooks. I think it was the hook that probably did the damage there, because the other 2 or 3 punches that came after that didn't really connect cleanly. But certainly Dean Keady, unfortunately, getting caught in that round.
Referee Botha counted to 10 after 34 seconds of round 3, which congratulate from the Braveheart Tarek Gymnasium, Nayef Kanj.
And here comes the man they call the Manchester Machine, formerly from Manchester, England, now based in Melbourne. It's Chris Allen. Mark the Hammer, it's going to be good to see Chris Allen back in action.
Well, Chris Allen is a very, very tough fighter. Last battle against Amir Shafiqur, of course, was an awesome battle, one of the best Thai fights from Australia's scene right here on Fox Sports.
And making his way to the ring is Queensland's Wayne Parr. You might not have heard of him here in Australia, folks, but in Japan and in Thailand, Wayne Parr is a household name. In fact, he fights under the ring name John Wayne, Mark.
Well, John Wayne indeed. He is certainly a celebrity in Thailand and Japan. The Japanese absolutely love this boy. He's put on some great battles over there in Tokyo. And he only arrived in Melbourne 2 days ago, straight from some fairly intensive training in Thailand for this bout. And you can bet that Wayne Parr, he certainly is here to fight and certainly make a name for himself.
No hook kicks to the lower legs in the clinches, understand that? Listen to my commands, touch gloves now in the last round. Good luck, fellas.
Well, look at the stare down there from Chris Allen, the Manchester Machine, up against Wayne Parr, all the way from Queensland. He's armed and dangerous, as we could tell. Walked into the ring with a holster strapped around his waist.
Malcolm.
And this one 5 by 3 minute rounds, full-blown Muay Thai rules, knees and elbows, folks. You can sense the anticipation in the air for this one. Brought to you by Tarak Solak Promotions here at the Crown Casino in Melbourne. As we said earlier on, Wayne Parr, a household name in Japan and Thailand. Chris Allen also returning recently from being overseas. Last time we saw him was in that epic fight against Amir Shafapur here on Fox Sports. And speaking of the Prince Amir Shafapur,
you see Chris Allen just throwing an elbow there, Michael. Got to be quick, pick those elbows up. When you're watching this at home, watch for those short in movements as Chris Allen powers up with those elbows.
Chris Allen, there was no shortage of elbows from him in his last fight. One of his stronger points in that contest. Traditional Thai fights, both men will feel each other out for the first round and then pick up the pace as the rounds progress. Slapping round kick off the lead leg there by Chris Allen. Neither man tying it up yet and working the knees. Nice leg kick there from Allen.
As is tradition in Thai fighting, the fighters do start fairly slowly in the first round and just see what their opponent's respective advantages and disadvantages are and work the rest of the rounds from there.
A minute 30 to go in this round. Allen just firing in with the right hand, ties him up, tries for a short crossing elbow to the side of the head of Wayne Parr. Didn't quite find the mark. Your third man in centering again. Referee Bryce Birtwhistle. There was Parr with the right elbow of his own.
Bryce Birtwhistle is no stranger to Thai fighting rules. He's a man that obviously trained me up for my Thai fights, and he's a well-schooled and a knowledgeable fellow when it comes to the rules of Muay Thai.
Under a minute to go now in this round. Both fighters just feeling each other out. There's Parr trying with that left elbow. Only 21 years old, Wayne Parr, already made a huge name for himself overseas as they start to trade some leg kicks down low.
Interesting to check the weights on these two. Chris Allen.
There's a right hand from Chris Allen, a straight right to the jaw. Sent Wayne Parr down in the blue corner. He shakes his head and says, I'm okay to continue.
As I was saying, as Chris Allen looks slightly heavier. I'll have to try and get my hands on those weigh-in stats. But certainly Chris Allen is a fairly powerfully built young man.
End of the first round of action. Mark the Hammer Castellini will just let you know that Wayne Parr weighing in at 69.5 kilo and the Manchester Machine Chris Allen at 67.3 kilo at the weigh-in.
So yeah, there's a little bit extra there in Chris Allen's favour, but nevertheless Wayne Parr, great first up round, just getting caught, although from Chris Allen. The statistics for that, the first round, show Wayne Parr 7 connecting punches, Chris Allen 16. So he's really powered up on the punches in respect. We see the boys going at it, and there's that right hand that just caught Wayne Parr on the back foot.
We're underway in the second round. Muay Thai between Chris Allen out of the blue corner and Wayne Parr out of the red corner. You can expect the intensity to be increased in this round. Nice inside leg kick to the rear leg there from Chris Allen.
Wayne Parr goes the elbow, but his range is just a little out. All he needs is, for one of those elbows, obviously the elbow is a very bony part of the body, to connect on the forehead, which is also not a very fleshy part of the body, and the cut will be immediately opened. But obviously you've got to connect it and get it right on.
Wayne Parr just catching those punches on the gloves, retaliating there for a round kick to the ribs, didn't quite find the mark. Left hook leg kick combination there from Chris Allen. Then goes the inside leg and the round kick. Leading off with that right elbow. And the first real grappling situation of the fight so far in the centre of the ring.
See Chris Allen working the front and the sides of Wayne Parr's thighs with those thumping knees.
Mark, I'm just wondering if a cut has been opened to the side of the head, the left side of Wayne Parr. I can see some blood on the left side of his head, and we'll just try and check that on the camera.
It is in the hair. I can't see what you're talking about, Michael, but...
Leading in with the left elbow there was Wayne Parr. He checked the low kick.
There you see it on the screen. The side of Wayne Parr's head has been connected with an elbow. So just a little blood coming from there now.
Front kick off the right leg from Wayne Parr. Trying to move in and tie Chris Allen up again. Pretty well matched for height, both of these customers. And a nice inside leg kick there from the Manchester Machine. Of course, you have to be so much on your game in Muay Thai. All 8 weapons of the body being employed. The legs, the hands, the elbows and the knees. And there's Chris Allen just working that left knee to the rib cage of Wayne Parr. Nice front kick off the rear leg there from Allen.
Chris Allen is certainly, he's got a bit of a height advantage and he's using that quite well. Wayne Parr looks to be having a little bit of trouble getting around his reach. As Parr takes another trip to the canvas, but unfortunately just a slip. Or fortunately just a slip.
You can see the blood on the left-hand side of the head of Wayne Parr. There's the end of the second round of action, Mark.
Well, a good round, but the second one, as we just try and get a close-in look at the side of Wayne Parr's head to evaluate the damage that was done there by the elbow. He's in turn thrown some good elbows of his own, Wayne Parr, but none of them really getting on. And Chris Allen, at this point, is doing it quite well. He's using his range. There you see the hook coming out as Wayne Parr powers up with the leg kick, and there you see the supporting leg taken out from under Wayne Parr, which is a legitimate takedown. Statistics fairly even all round. Above waist kicks, however, Wayne Parr 10 to Chris Allen 3. Leg kicks 5 Parr, 8 to Chris. As we see the boys go at it again, you see Wayne Parr really power up. There's that inside leg kick just taking Parr right down, and well executed and perfectly timed from Chris Allen.
Let's go, Red. Let's go.
We roll into the third round of action. The Manchester Machine against John Wayne.
Corner, tidy it up, please, Dave.
We saw the intensity step up in the second round. You can bet it's going to fire up even further here in the third. Slapping round kick to the body. Just caught on the forearms there by Wayne Parr. Nice front kick off the rear leg there from Chris Allen. Just not enough mustard behind it to do any real damage. And they tie up against the ropes.
See Chris Allen there working the front of the thighs with the point of the knee. The idea of that is to cork the opponent's legs so as to stifle his movement and his footwork.
Wayne Parr just dumping Allen to the canvas in a show of strength. A spinning back elbow, it looked like there from Chris Allen. You can also hear support for Chris Allen being yelled at ringside from stablemate Stan the Man Longanides. They tangle up over towards the blue corner. Parr just negating the knees of Chris Allen by bringing his leg up.
That is a knee block. That is correct form. Just take that leg out so it can't work and do any damage on you.
You can see the left or the right side of the head now of Wayne Parr bleeding quite heavily. He's been cut with the elbows there of Chris Allen. There's one from Chris Allen again. That'll make Wayne Parr wish he was someplace else.
Chris Allen getting that left elbow right on the button and hitting Wayne Parr on the skull with that.
Well, Wayne Parr now bleeding from both sides of the head. A sweeping inside leg kick there from Chris Allen. Surprising me at the moment, Mark, that both fighters aren't working the knees more.
Well, they're making it a much cleaner fight. When you see the grappling, if you're not a true devotee of this sport, you don't really know what the fighters are doing in those clinches. But certainly at this stage, it's a great spectacle for the crowd.
If it gets any worse, man, I'm going to stop that. All right?
Referee Bryce Birtwhistle just paying attention to that cut on the side of the head of Wayne Parr.
You heard him say if it gets any worse, he's going to stop this fight. So you can bet that Chris Allen is going to go after that cut and do just that, try and make it a little worse.
Parr ties Allen up, tries to work the left knee over against the ropes. Allen continuing to go with those lower knees to the lead thigh.
That's it, mate, you're right.
Bryce Birtwhistle, just a word there to Wayne Parr. He's been cut under the eye. And referee Bryce Birtwhistle has decided to stop the fight, it looks like, Mark.
And that's it. That's got to be the best thing for the fighter. His eye has now been hit with a right roundhouse elbow. There you see the damage to the eye, and that's not going to get any better. You can trust me when I tell you that. It's certainly a deep gash to the eye. Right roundhouse elbow from Chris Allen.
Well, look at the size of that cut there, Mark.
Wayne, you have to be warned.
I just assume stop it. One hit on that, mate, it's going to open right up.
I've been in Thailand, I've been worse. You must be warned that you could end up with quite a lot of bleeding, quite a large scar afterwards if you choose to go on.
That's Dr. Peter Lewis talking to Wayne Parr over in the corner. He's a brave customer, Wayne Parr. You can bet he takes a lot of knocks like this over in Thailand. He wants to go on with it.
To go on. The doctor can overrule the referee, and he has done that.
Well, Mark the Hammer at the end of the round. What a sense of excitement in the air. Wayne Parr is going to continue.
There you
Let's
see
look at
that
the replay.
right elbow, and I think it's just the. I think it was just on the point of that right elbow that. Oh, it could have been a subsequent one that came sometime after that, but I think he just got caught with the right elbow under the bony part of the eye there, and as is with some parts of the head, as they just go to work on the cut there of Wayne Parr. It's just split the skin, but it's swelled quite badly. And what can I say? I'd have to agree with the centre referee in saying that's not going to get any better, and all it's going to have to take is a jab to make it a little worse.
That is not allowed, I'm sorry. Sorry. Not even a thing, it's forbidden.
There you see the right elbow crushing in on Wayne Parr's face as Chris Allen just stands back and has a bit of a look at the scoring point, and he certainly caught that elbow flush onto the bottom of the eye, or above the cheekbone. Chris Allen showing surprisingly good form with his elbows here tonight. He's actually gone on and honed his elbow skills further from when he fought Amir Shafirpour. Some of his elbows went a little astray on that night, But tonight, he's getting in and his range is perfect and he's landing him right on the button.
Seconds out, round 4.
Dr. Peter Lewis ringside just chatting to members of the Martial Arts Control Board.
Martial Arts and Boxing Authority. They also can overrule and stop the fight, but they're happy for it to go on. They are the official government body of boxing and kickboxing in the state of Victoria.
We're into the 4th round of action. You can bet that Chris Allen will go hunting after that cut. He has a target to pursue. And Wayne Parr, a brave man to continue with a cut that size, just dumping Allen to the canvas in another show of strength. Parr's come out fired up in this round. We really have to guard that cut on his left side.
As the referee and the doctor were looking at those cuts on Wayne Parr, I distinctly heard him say, I've had worse in Thailand. And, you know, this is just another day at the office for Wayne Parr.
Nice connecting right hand it was by Chris Allen, straight to that cut. Short uppercut by Allen. Wayne Parr looks like he's walking around with a squash ball under his eye, tries to fire in the left elbow, didn't quite find the mark. Chris Allen just working a nice left knee up to the ribs. Both men decide to trade knees, some corking knees down to the thighs. And referee Bryce Birtwhistle there to keep it nice and clean. There's that lead right hand from Chris Allen, catching the leg, trying for a downstairs sweeping leg kick.
Chris Allen is looking very sharp here tonight, Michael. Sharp in more than one respect. His technique is on the money, and his elbows, they're like razors, and they're cutting Wayne Parr up.
Almost 2 minutes down in this round. A spinning back elbow there from Wayne Parr. Came close, but no cigar. And they tie up over in the neutral corner. The crowd really appreciating that technique, one of the more spectacular techniques of Muay Thai. Parr trying to line up.
As they go for the knees, I think a lot of the AFL footballers ringside here would have to appreciate those corking knees to the thigh. In some of their games, they get corked thighs and they're out for up to 2-3 weeks. Well, these boys are taking them repeatedly, one after the other. And that's got to be testament to the conditioning of a Thai kickboxer.
Chris Allen weathering a bit of punishment now, and another cut opened up, this time to the side of Wayne Parr's right eye. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris Allen might have a little mouse under his left eye as well. Okay. These elbows, Mark, certainly opening up some damage on both fighters.
Well, that's a difference between boxing, kickboxing, and Thai, Muay Thai kickboxing.
Now,
Thai fighting is
in his eye, so he can't see and concentrate. But we're not allowed to clear it. We're not allowed to provide any treatment during the round.
Just wipe the blood off and let's go, mate.
Thai boxing is a very lethal sport. It's an ancient art of Thailand, and they used to use this to settle some fairly serious feuds in the ancient era. And these boys are bringing it home here tonight.
Wayne Parr coming out of the corner like a house on fire, just dumps Chris Allen to the canvas. And listen to the crowd go crackers here at the Crown Casino.
Well, Chris Allen is probably wondering what he has to do to put this boy away.
The end of the 4th round of action. Intestinal fortitude incredibly there by Wayne Parr. Master Hammer Castellini, I love what I'm seeing so far.
I'll tell you what, Michael, Wayne Parr, you've got to take your hat off to him. He's been hit with everything from Chris Allen, and he's still there. He wants to fight. Although he's been hit with a lot of clean shots, you really have to ask yourself what benefit is it for him to go on. But he thinks he can take it. We see him there trying the spinning hook kick, following with the right hand. And Chris Allen just moves out of the way, works that lead leg, comes back with a jab. As they tie up, Wayne Parr flings him to the ground, throws him over his lead leg, and takes Chris Allen down. That is, of course, a scoring technique in Thailand. The takedowns are also considered scoring techniques.
Stops, fellas.
Well, blood continues to stream from the head of Wayne Parr, the fifth and final round of action against the Manchester Machine, Chris Allen. They come out smoking in the final round. Parr goes downstairs, a crushing leg kick to the lead leg.
And look, watch out for that right roundhouse elbow from Chris Allen. I noted his corner telling him to use it. I'm just waiting for the moment when he's going to find it, the right time to attack. Here we see those corking knees to the thigh again, as the AFL players stare in awe.
A look of determination on the kisser of Wayne Parr, and time being called again. Didn't have his mouth guard inserted. Got to watch out for that one. A ripping round kick, and there was the right elbow from Chris Allen. Didn't quite find the mark. Calls from Wayne Parr to fire his technique straight through the middle onto Chris Allen.
See Wayne Parr biting at that mouth guard with determination. Lead roundhouse kick to the body.
Oh, he walked straight into the left elbow of Chris Allen on that occasion.
And that was an uppercut elbow right to the bridge of the nose of Wayne Parr.
And referee Bryce Byrne whistles called an end to the fight. A sensational display of elbows from Chris Allen. And in the end, poor old Wayne Parr took more knocks on the front door, and this one's all over, Mark.
Well, that uppercut elbow just broke Wayne Parr's nose. Straight into it. Chris Allen, what an expert in technique. Technically brilliant elbow strikes. Razor sharp, speed, timing. He had it all here tonight with his elbows, Chris Allen.
Ladies and gentlemen, representing Australia, Tibet, the gentleman Hamza. Ladies and gentlemen, the World Super Middleweight Championship, which is welcome from Bournemouth, England, Trevor, the Big Chill Ambrose. Trevor Ambrose, England. And representing Australia, Gurkan, Ozkan. The World Super Heavyweight Championship, which you welcome from Cape Town, South Africa, Bernardo, South Africa. And representing Australia, Greco.
And bouncing his way down the aisle for our first world title fight of the night, all the way from Cape Town, South Africa, is Botha. Botha boasts a record of 40 fights for 35 wins and 20 knockouts, and he'll have to fight hard tonight if he's going to add the scalp of Tibet Hamza to his list of casualties here at the Crown Casino. Charging down the aisle is former world champion Tibet Hamza. Tonight, Hamza is aiming to recapture the world title he relinquished 4 years ago. This is the moment that Hamza has been waiting for, and he hopes it will be the crowning achievement of his glorious comeback, Mark the Hammer.
Well, Tibet Hamza, Michael, coming off a great win over a very tough Daniel Dawson from WA. That fight was aired on Fox Sports earlier on, and you'll remember Hamza's awesome effort in overcoming a very, very tough indeed Daniel Dawson from WA.
And let's go across to our ring announcer, Howard Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's championship time. We've got the best ringside seats in the house. There's sure to be a war in centering. South Africa versus Australia. Judges this 12-round contest: Malcolm Mulder, Bryce Birtwistle, Chris Anderson. Ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis. Referee in charge of the action, Dave the Rock Hedgecock. Timekeeper, Leroy. 12 rounds for the WAKO World Super Lightweight Championship. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, on my right, occupying the blue corner. He comes from Cape Town, the Republic of South Africa, with Virgil Kale-Kona and Andrew Thompson in the corner. First visit to Australia. Last night he scaled 64 kilograms, wearing white with red trunks with a record of 40 bouts, 35 wins, 5 losses, 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. Deeply religious, Roy the Boy Botha. Across the ring on my left, occupying the red corner, from Keysborough, Victoria, representing Australia in this World Super Lightweight Championship. 20 fights, 19 wins, 1 loss, 11 big knockouts. In 1994, captured the World Super Lightweight Championship at Melbourne's Festival Hall. Tonight scaling 63.70 kilograms. He is a former Essendon under-19 AFL footballer wearing trunks of pink, white, red. The gentleman, Tibet Hamza. Great headbutt.
Expect a good clean fight. In case of a knockdown, go to the first neutral corner. Protect yourself at all times. If I ask for a break, I want a good clean break. Let's have a good fight.
Michael Chiavello ringside with Mark the Hammer Castanini. All is in readiness for our first world title fight of the evening between Tibet Hamza from Australia and Ray Botha from South Africa. This for the world super lightweight title. Let's get underway in the first round of action. Hamza opening up with a high left round kick. Hamza's most potent weapon is his straight right, folks. Keep an eye on it. It's a weapon used to deck Daniel Dawson in his last fight. Also possesses some wicked kicks on him. Ray Botha, well, we don't know too much about him except that he comes to us with 40 fights under his belt. All the way from the fighting city of Cape Town in South Africa. Oh, Hamza just connected with a nice round kick to the ribs.
Okay, that's fine.
You can bet that Ray Botha felt that one. That'll take the starch right out of the South African.
Both are getting a little too side on for my liking, Michael.
Tibet Hamza going to work over in the red corner. Trying to connect with that big right hand.
Both his kicks at this stage don't seem to have a lot of power behind him. He seems to be cutting up and flicking his kicks out and not powering up enough. When he's fighting someone the likes of Tibet Hamza, he's really got to roll the hip over and power up on all of his techniques.
Around 30 seconds to go in this first round. Botha looks like he's been slightly overwhelmed by the power of Tibet Hamza so far.
Botha carrying his hands very low, which is always going to be a danger if Tibet drives that straight right off the chin. If he's got his hands down that low, he's going to be susceptible to getting caught.
The final seconds of this round, just flicking up that high left round kick off the lead leg. Tibet Hamza into the first round mark. A good one there for the Aussie.
Well, Tibet certainly moving well, just having a bit of a look at Botha. Botha, on the other hand, getting very side on and keeping his right leg and his right hand way back, which is almost taking him out of the game. Opting rather for a step-up side kick, etc., which are basically techniques that don't have a lot of power and are not something you want to be employing against a man with the strength and capability of Tibet Hamza. Punches in that round, 11 connecting punches to Tibet, only 3 to Botha. Here we see Botha just taken down the sheer power of that round kick from Hamza. Hamza powering up. Botha a little, I feel at this stage, a little daunted at the onslaught that he's taken from Hamza. Hamza's just not quite getting any of those power.
Seconds out, seats
punches
under.
up.
Fighters stay in your corner,
Both
please.
are being lucky
Stay
to
in your
take a lot
corner.
of them on
Wipe
the
that up a
gloves.
little bit there, guys, please. Just wipe that up a fraction. Stay in your corner. Just back. Timekeeper.
We're rumbling in the second round of action. This for the world title, super lightweight title between Tibet Hamza of Australia and the striped trunks of Ray Botha. Hamza going to work early with that lethal right hand. There's the right round kick up to the head. Luckily for Botha, he was guarded up against it.
But Botha not really pivoting at all on that lead leg when he round kicks off the right. He's not really rolling his hip over at all. He's just kicking with the foot rather than with the whole leg.
Hamza just leading out, probing with that left hand. One of the first real leg kicks there from Ray Botha. Hamza replies with one of his own and another to that lead leg. And Botha dropping his hands, almost inviting Hamza to come in with the right hand. Not a wise move. Nice solid leg kick it was there by Hamza. The left hand found its way through the guard of Hamza. Hamza fires back with a big right hand. He cut that one on the jaw and he's gone down in the red corner. Ray Botha will be doing a quick count of his teeth after that one.
4, 5.
The count goes to 5. He's
7,
back up.
8. Hold on.
Botha opts to take the count, have a bit of a rest, and he's hopefully going to stay out of range of any more of those onslaughts.
Hamza unloading on him over in the neutral corner. The South African goes down the game.
Wipe the gloves, okay? I'm going to give you a slam too, okay? Okay. Fight on.
Botha has been overwhelmed by the power of Tibet Hamza in this round. Hamza headhunting, a smacking round kick to the head. Ray Botha taking a real punishment over in the neutral corner. He's gone down the game. It doesn't look good. It's all over. The world title goes to Tibet Hamza with a knockout in the second round.
Well, Botha looked overwhelmed right from the start, Michael, I'm afraid. He was putting his technique in, but not with a lot of conviction. Only very, very light and flicking kicks. Not really rolling the hip over, either with his right leg or his right hand. Just opting the flick stuff at Tibet Hamza, and that's just not the way to go when you're fighting for a world title, or when you're fighting anyone at all, really. And having a look at the last round, I see 22 punches from Tibet Hamza, only 8 in response from Botha, so pretty much overwhelming onslaught from Tibet Hamza, and a worthy new world champion. Tibet Hamza, he's a tough competitor, as I said earlier, coming off a tough fight with Daniel Dawson. Tibet Hamza now our latest world champion.
We'll just have a look at the replay again here, Mark the Hammer.
See, both at once, as I said, we've just been overwhelmed, and the power in the hands of Hamza is just too much for him, and he just carried his guard too low, so he was sort of susceptible to those headshots. But that was pretty poor form from both. You see Hamza right on him.
1 minute and 38 seconds in a row.
Hamza just putting him away without much trouble at all, really. And Botha sent back packing to South Africa.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are very sporting, generous people in the city of Melbourne, Australia. Roy Botha, come on, give Roy a big round of applause. He came here, he came to win. Bad luck, Roy. Tibet, you came out smoking tonight.
We see Hamza working at Botha with that lead roundhouse kick to the head, and then just following it up with punches. Big right hand caught Botha there, and the hook, left hook, just topped it all off and put the icing on the cake. And there is one down South African.
This is my second fight back after a 4-year layoff, and look, I'm only going to improve from here on. So I want to just thank my fans, supporters, my corner, a friend of mine, Jenk, who's come from Queensland to support me tonight, and most of all, I want to thank my sponsor, Barcode. They've been happily sponsoring me for this fight, and they're organised an after party for me there. So please join us for drinks there. Thank you.
Can only mean one thing, the emergence of the man known worldwide as Mr. Chill. All the way from England, it's Trevor Ambrose. You talk about exciting fighters in the mould of Prince Nassim and Sugar Ray Leonard. Well, folks, Trevor Ambrose is known as the Sugar Ray Leonard of kickboxing. A WBO-rated boxer, he's fought the best of the best in boxing and kickboxing for the past 16 years, and he believes that he has what it takes to knock out the supreme fighting machine, Gurkan Ozkan, here tonight, Mark.
Well, Trevor Ambrose, Michael, have a look at him. Cool, calm and collected. Let's just see if he can back it up with an onslaught from a man who's renowned as being an awesome starter, Gurkan Ozkan. If he's relaxed now, Trevor Ambrose won't be as soon as that first bell sounds.
To the ovation as the supreme fighting machine, Gurkan Ozkan makes his way to the ring with After Ozkan on Fox Sports in April when he annihilated Mark McCullen in a matter of seconds. And tonight the ticking time bomb squares off against his toughest opponent ever in the form of England's Mr. Chill, Trevor Ambrose. Mark the Hammer Casamini, Gurkan Ozkan looks a picture of physical perfection.
Well, Gurkan's coming into this fight probably the best he's been prepared in a long, long time. He is a quick starter, which is in contrast to Ambrose, who is a slow starter. So let's have a look at the start of this bout very, very cautiously.
Chrisopoulides. And Anthony Koutafidis. Come on, give Anthony and Ange a big warm welcome. The Blues might be on the bottom, but only temporarily. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tadek Sonic Knockout Promotions proudly presents our semi-main event. 5 rounds for the World Association of Kickboxing Organization's Super Middleweight Championship of the World. Would you welcome on my right, occupying the blue corner, from Bournemouth, Dorset, England, with Billy Murray, triple world champion from Belfast, Ireland, in the corner, scaling 74.9 kilograms. He's been to Australia, he's been to New Zealand. He has a remarkable record of 120 bouts. 111 wins, 4 draws, 5 losses. Tonight he is scaling 74.9 kilograms, British stripes, white, red, and blue. Would you welcome the Big Chill, Trevor Ambrose. In the red corner on my left, part of the Braveheart Tadek Solik Gymnasium, And what a magnificent comeback this young man has made. Former QWAKO ISCA Super Middleweight Champion of the World, aiming to win his 3rd World Championship here in Centering at the Crown Casino. He has an impeccable record, 43 bouts, 40 wins, 3 losses, 29 wins by knockout, including 20 in the first round. Scaling 75.2 kilograms, the brave heart, eye of the Turkish Tiger, Gurkan wearing black trunks. The referee in charge, Dave Hedgecock.
Gentlemen, both to the
5
corner,
rounds
please.
of Muay
Centre,
Thai
please, Gurkan.
Super Middleweight Championship.
Come on, guys, both to the centre, please. All right, spoke to you both in the rooms. Both know the rules and regulations. In case of a knockdown, please go to the furthest neutral corner. Listen to what I call. I've asked for a break. I want a good clean break. Just a good clean fight. Let's go.
Well, all is in readiness for our 2nd world title fight of the night.
Seconds down, please.
Between
Stay
the
in your
ticking
corner,
time bomb,
seconds
Gurkan, Ozkan and Mr. Chul, all the way from England, Trevor Ambrose.
Seconds out, round
An interesting point here is that Trevor Ambrose challenged Gurkan Ozkan early this week, said, you can't touch me twice on the jaw in the first round. And Gurkan said, I'll give it a shot. Ambrose, known as one of the real movers in world kickboxing. They call him the Sugar Ray Leonard of kickboxing, folks. And Gurkan Ozkan, the supreme fighting machine, taunting him, calling him forward, saying, come on, let's see what you've got, Trev. Neither man thrown a technique so far. Intriguing start to the bout.
Well, Ambrose going for the psych out on Ozkan.
Not one punch thrown so far. There it is, 40 seconds in. And Ambrose saying, can you hit me, Gurkan? Ozkan has never fought an opponent with the experience of Trevor Ambrose or the ring savvy of the man from England.
Well, in excess of 100 fights, Ambrose is no stranger to the ring. And he's having a bit of a toy with Gurkan at the moment. But will he come a cropper if Gurkan can bail him up in the corner and unload with some of those awesome big hands that he has?
Trevor Ambrose, a very hard boxer, WBO-rated boxer. Ozkan pursues him over in the red corner, and he might have clocked him on the chin once then. Ozkan is like a heat-seeking missile with those fists of his, a bomber on a seek-and-destroy mission with every punch, and there's a leg kick to the lead leg. The hook didn't find the target.
I can't help, Michael, but to see another right hand land on the chin of Trevor Ambrose, but I can't help but to see a bit of a likeness in Ambrose's movement and the movement of Sam Solomon earlier.
Comments from former Australian cruiserweight Muay Thai champion Mark the Hammer Castanini ringside with myself, Michael Ciavello, and your third man in centering, the referee, the living legend Dave Hedgecock. This is turning into an interesting tussle. Gurkan Ozkan usually charges out of his corner like a pit bull.
Get off the rope, stop, break, time.
And just look at Trevor Ambrose taunting him.
You hit a fight, fight on.
That's a referee.
Ozkan chasing him across the ring.
Okay, break, step back, clean break, block both of you, step back.
Ambrose is content to put on a show for this, the first round, and try and frustrate Ozkan into making a mistake.
Into the remaining few seconds of this round.
What Ozkan has to do is bail him up into a corner, cut him off, bail him into a corner and then go to work.
Ozkan tried to unload with that big right hand. It came close, but no cigar. There's the end of the first round, man.
Well, that's the end of the first round, and as I said, a very frustrating first round for Ozkan, as Ambrose was just moving around taunting him. Ozkan 5 punches, 4 kicks. Ambrose 2 punches, 3 kicks. Such is the low work rate in that the first round. It was more a psychological battle. And Ozkan's got to do what he does best, and has one of the corner yelled out, don't fight his game, fight yours. And Ozkan's game is not to move around. You see Ambrose just missing with the kick as Ozkan charges in. Ambrose has got arms going everywhere. He keeps his chin right up in the air, which is a bit of a sitting target. But Ozkan just backed off and let him get a second life.
If he's fucking around laughing, that means he's good. Put the pressure.
Seconds out, seats under, stay in your corner, please. Stay in your corner. Come on, guys, seconds out. Seat out, please, mate. Can we hurry it up? Seconds out, stay in your corner. Stay back there, please. Okay, come on, Tarek. You ready? Timekeeper.
Underway in the second round of action. Wasn't much in the first round, as Mark said. More a psychological battle between these two warriors. Two very seasoned campaigners indeed.
Ambrose carrying his hands very low.
Ozkan caught him with the left, fires in the straight right hand. I don't think Ozkan quite knows what to make of Ambrose so far.
Ambrose has a distinct reach and height advantage over Ozkan.
And blood trickling from the nose of Gurkan Ozkan as Ambrose plants a kick to the lead leg. Nice leg kick there from Gurkan Ozkan. And Ambrose replies with one of his own to the lead leg and fires out a good side kick to the midsection.
That was Ambrose's recovery there. He threw the roundhouse kick, doubled up with a side kick, so as to defend and attack at the same time, so to speak.
Ozkan just trying to line up the kisser of Trevor Ambrose with the big right hand. Ambrose just a little bit too slippery for him at the moment. He walks straight into that right hand, though. You can bet the Englishman felt that one. Ooh, that trade blows in the centre of the ring. Ambrose continues to keep his hands down around his waist. I'll tell you what, he's a brave man. Ozkan is one of the hardest hitters in the world. Ambrose just continuing to toy with Ozkan. 1 minute 40 gone in this round.
It amazes me, Michael, as a WBO rated boxer, Ambrose's hands to this stage haven't really impressed me at all. His punches are somewhat flabby and a little wild.
Ozkan, nice inside leg kick to the lead leg. Ambrose just leading in with the right hand.
It's a push. Turn around, wipe your gloves.
Referee Dave Hedgecock said it was only a push in the centre of the ring.
Ozkan's a little rattled.
Well, he's applying a count over there in the red corner though, Mark.
6.
It's been a long, long time since we've seen anyone do that to Gurkan
He's
Ozkan.
rattled, Michael. That right hand of Ambrose has shot through and just caught Ozkan on the button.
Break, 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 break. When I say break, don't fight, okay? Sit back, fight on.
Gurkan Ozkan rattled in the second round. 2 minutes 40 gone. Ambrose just stalking him. Ozkan swings wildly with the left hand.
Those gangly arms of Ambrose's are sometimes finding their way through the guard of Ozkan as blood just trickles onto our monitor from the nose of Gurkan Ozkan.
There it is, the end of the second round of action. Ambrose catching Gurkan again with that right hand. I tell you what, Mark, he's wobbled the Supreme Fighting Machine.
Well, certainly Ambrose has round that one. He powered on through, and those gangly arms of his, they just found the mark. There you see it. The left hook is what put Ozkan down. I'm sorry, was it the right hook? My mistake. But his arms and legs are going everywhere, so it does make it a little hard to pick up. He is a very gangly fighter, but that definitely rattled Ozkan.
Can you hear me? Yep. Put the pressure on, otherwise he's going to keep hitting you. Put the pressure on, otherwise he's going to keep hitting you. Give me the vest. Can you hear what I'm saying? Are you going to put the pressure on him? Yep. What do you want me to do? Keep your hands up high. Keep your hands up high. Keep kicking.
Stay in your corner, please. Come on, let's hurry it up, guys. Seats under, please. Out in the corner.
Well, some concern in the corner of Gurkan Ozkan. He's been told to keep on top and pressure Trevor Ambrose, or else Ambrose is just going to keep hitting him as we move into the third round of action. Blood continues to trickle from the right nostril of Gurkan Ozkan. Ambrose has his right hand cocked and ready for action. Ozkan, some swelling under his right eye. And Ambrose just showing his agility with his kicking combination. There's the big right hand from Ozkan. That's what he's been hunting for. Now he fires back against the Englishman. Has Ambrose with a spot of Botha. The crowd have gone wild. The ticking time bomb has exploded in the blue corner. Look at Ozkan go.
Step back, step back. Fight on.
Ambrose receiving some punishment.
It's there.
Ozkan headhunting, but he can't put the Englishman down just yet.
Well, Ozkan's given it his all in this round, and he's caught Ambrose a little on the sitting. But Ambrose still got enough energy to lairize around a little, and still keep that psychological war up with Ozkan.
Ozkan's swollen right eye will be a target for Trevor Ambrose.
Ozkan's face is looking a lot worse for weather at this stage of the bout. As Ambrose is a very gangly and cagey character indeed.
Ozkan just stalking him. Gets a nice leg kick. Follows him over against the ropes. A nice body shot there from Ambrose. Ozkan wades through the big right hand.
Break, step back, clean break.
He planted him flush on the kisser with that right hand.
Ambrose knows if he can take Gurkan through to the fourth round, he's going to be tired, and then he's going to power on.
Well, what a sensational battle so far. There's Ozkan firing up the big right hand again.
Interesting to notice that this is a modified Thai rules fight, which means there's knees. But these boys, they might as well left them at home because no one's throwing any knees or grappling at all.
Ozkan looks like he's been in a war, connects there with the straight right hand.
Okay, break,
they tie up in the centre of the ring.
Fight on.
Well, this has definitely been Ozkan's round so far. 2 minutes 45 gone, 15 seconds remaining. Ambrose laterally moving around the ring. And there's the end of the round mark. They haven't won an intriguing contest.
Well, it is, but looking at the results of round 2, and now going to have a look at the statistics from round 3, Ozkan has a slightly higher work rate. Ambrose, for all his cagey fighting, he's still not throwing enough technique. In the second round, we had Ozkan 14 punches, 6 kicks, Ambrose 12 punches, 4 kicks, and in that, the third round, 20 punches Ozkan, 14 punches to Ambrose. There you see Ambrose just being barreled into that corner. This is where he's in the spot of Botha, but have a look at his arms. His chin's right there, up in the air, but his arms are going everywhere, and that is just like a spider web for Ozkan to try and get around.
Seconds out.
Seconds out. 4. Seats under, guys. Wipe up that mess there, please. Come on, hurry it up, thanks. Seats under. Stay in your corner. Out of the corner, please. Let's go. Stay in your corner, Trevor. Back there for action. Timekeeper. Let's go.
Into the fourth round of world title action. The chilled Trevor Ambrose has served up some punishment to Gurkan Ozkan, but Ozkan fired back in the last round.
Well, Ambrose did serve up some punishment, Michael, but we still have to have a look at the work rate. And Ozkan is doing the chasing and throwing the technique. So if Ambrose keeps backing off and doesn't up his work rate, he's going to get tipped at the post on the judges' cards, if it goes the distance, that is, purely because Ozkan's throwing more landing punches and kicks.
Ozkan just trying to tenderise that lead leg. Ambrose switching stance. He's not checking those leg kicks at all, Ambrose. And when he switches stance, Ozkan gets him with the inside leg kick. Ooh, the big left hand came over the top there from Ozkan. Just glanced the side of the face of Trevor Ambrose. Ambrose clocked him there at the right. Minute and a half down in this round, Mark.
So we see Ozkan just throwing that straight right to Ambrose's face, but Ambrose is pretty unperturbed by anything or much that Ozkan is doing. He just keeps circling. What Ozkan could be looking at, one strategy is possibly cutting him off and hopefully getting him with one of those hooks of his.
Now Ambrose starting to unload. There's the high right round kick. Ozkan fires back, left and right to his own towards the head. He's got the Englishman again over against the ropes.
Well, Ozkan's let Ambrose off a couple of times. When he's been in trouble, he's backed off. He's got to keep powering up on him. And when he does lose his balance, that's the time to clock him with that big right hand of his.
Ambrose switching stances again.
But have a look at Ambrose. This is as calm, cool, collected as you like.
Well, he's cool and calm, the Englishman, but I think he needs to do a lot more than he is at the moment.
Certainly the ring name Mr. Chill is certainly ringing true in this fight.
The big overhand by Ozkan, but Ambrose found the mark and put Ozkan down again.
3, 4.
He's wobbled in the neutral corner here.
6, 7, 8. Wipe your glove. Okay.
Ozkan is definitely rattled, and he's on rubber leg streak.
Oh, flying front kick there from Ambrose. It's the end of the fight. Gurkan pleading with the referee not to stop the fight, but it's all over. Ozkan in a world of hurt.
And Ambrose has done the job on Gurkan Ozkan. He took him out.
From Mark to Hammer, listen to the crowd. Gurkan Ozkan has been stopped. We never thought we'd see it.
And Ambrose came back with technique in that round. 12 punches to 8. Kicks, however, Ozkan 7 leg kicks to 1 of Ambrose and 4 above waist kicks from Ambrose. So Ambrose was starting to up the ante, up the work rate. Here we see the replay, and there's that right hand from Ozkan just glancing up the side of Ambrose's head, and he's on the move away from those big hooking punches of Ozkan, and Ozkan just left himself open with those big leap hooking punches and got caught flush with that kick.
But on the fighter, he's the winner. You're the audience. I saw that. Every round.
Cold job, letting my calf. I've got a major problem here. Yeah, them shots in the corner.
We see him come back after that count, and you'll see Ambrose leap in with that leaping front kick and just bail Gurkan right into the corner. Didn't really do a lot of damage, I suppose, but referee Dave Hedgecock has made the hard call once again, and the fighters' well-being is of paramount importance, and referee Dave Hedgecock has looked after the fighters. That's what he gets paid to do, and he's done a fine job, Dave Hedgecock. And Gurkan will have to come back and challenge Ambrose again if he wants another crack at this world title.
Trevor, you're a man of many things. A Cinderella man, dancing and grunge music and all those things. You came to town, you promised you'd put on a show.
Thank you very much. I do apologise if the crowd didn't like my style, but there's a lot more to come. I trained for a 12-round fight. I had a 5-round fight. So what can I say? Thank you very much.
And what Ambrose is probably alluding to there is with some last-minute changes. It was the 12 by 2-minute rounds were then changed to 5 by 3. So that's probably what Ambrose is talking about, but he's done well.
You're on the ropes and you didn't have your gloves up?
Mate, out of 43 fights, that's the first time I hit the deck. And I wasn't out cold, okay? I'm not making any excuses, but I don't want anyone to save me. If there's 10 guys, I'll take them all on until I die. Come on, man. You know, this is a fight. This is a ring. You got to go down, up, down, up. How many guys hit the deck and I can barely get up on 10? He didn't even give me a count. As I said, I respect you as Dave Edgecock, but not as a ref. I couldn't get going. This is my future, my career. You know, I've got a name to uphold.
You did the right thing.
And, you know, I want to keep going.
That excited. Ladies and gentlemen, it's unfortunate that Gurkan's from the Braveheart gym because he's very brave. I think the referee gave the right decision because I do care for Gurkan too. I think Gurkan was up front, but Trevor's a very experienced fighter. I promised everybody, when I ring another country, and it's for one of my fighters, I say, do not send your second best fighter. We want the best. We're asking for the best. So far, he's won more than 40 fights, lost a couple in Melbourne. If you look at his record, he's still a champion. He lost the title today. We'll get it back tomorrow. I promise Gurkan I'll get him a rematch. Thank you.
Sorry, brother. I love you.
No, don't worry.
Dave, what are you anticipating for tonight's main bout?
Oh, I think it'll be a very interesting fight, actually. Mark, from the guy from South Africa, comes with a fairly good record, a fairly good reputation. He looks big enough, looks strong enough, and he certainly took the weigh-in very seriously. So I think we're in for a fairly fiery night, actually. I think he'll test Sam, and it'll be particularly for Sam here in Australia, for one of the first times that his own crowd's going to get to see him. I think it'll be very, very good.
How tough is it in there, Dave? How tough when you're trying to control two super heavyweights, mate? How hard is it?
It's really got nothing to do with size. As you've seen Mills Lanes, referee Vander Holyford and Mike Tyson. It's all whether or not the fighter wants to do as he's told and adhere to the rules. That's very, very important. We're dealing with two pretty professional athletes in there tonight, so I think it'll be fairly easy. You just keep out of the way, let them do their business, and if there's any infringements or anything going wrong, that's when you're required to step in and do what you're required to do as a referee.
Hello everybody, I'm Michael Chavello with Mark the Hammer Castanini. We're almost ready to rumble in our main event for the Super Heavyweight World title. And here's the man from Cape Town, South Africa. It's Big Bad Carl Bernardo, Mark.
Big Bad Carl Bernardo indeed, Michael. Is from Cape Town, as you said. He's a younger brother of Mike Bernardo, the famed K1 fighter. There's a tough fighting family, the Bernardos, certainly from South Africa. He has won his last 12 fights, all by knockout. Well, that's an interesting statistic indeed. Will be interesting to see how he goes against the very, very strong power machine from down under, Sam Greco.
And listen to the Crown Casino erupt with the emergence of the one of the most feared men of the ring, the man they call Slam 'em, Sam Greco. Well, we haven't seen Greco fight in Melbourne for more than 2 years. He's been fighting exclusively in Japan, where he enjoys movie star status, but now Slam 'em Sam is back, and he's on a demolition mission to become the world super heavyweight champion here tonight. Mark the Hammer Castanini, I'll tell you what, Sam Greco, look at him.
Well, there's a picture of focus. Sam Greco here tonight is fighting in front of his home crowd, and everyone here is 100% behind him in his quest to become the world super heavyweight champion.
Let's go across to our ring announcer, Howard Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event. It's showtime. Let's get ready to rumble. Judges, Chris Anderson, Malcolm Mulder, Bryce Bedwhistle, ringside physician, Dr. Peter Lewis, your supervisor, Iska, Norman Liu, members of the Professional Boxing and Martial Arts Board, Chairman Ron Casey, Bart McCarthy, Bob Todd, Malcolm McGuinness, and Bernard W. Barber at ringside. I'm Howard Lee on behalf of Tadic Sonic, Knockout Promotions. Welcome to Centre Ring. We thank the Crown Casino, the Palladium, the Clash at the Crown. Protect yourself at all times, both physically and emotionally. Reach for the stars, may God bless, and keep punching.
Guys, listen to what I call. You know what I want. Good, clean fight. Let's not have any fun. In case of knockdown, must go to the first neutral corner before I start counting. Good, clean break. Good fight. Let's go.
Well, the look on the face of Sam Greco's manager, Graham Burke, says it all. He is a very pensive and eagerly awaits the result of this bout. Brought Sam back to Melbourne to fight.
Of South Africa, a deeply religious man. He brings in a centering record of 21 bouts, 20 wins, only one loss to the legendary Ernesto Hoost in Tokyo, Japan in K1 2 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's counting 97.4 kilograms, total black trunks. Would you welcome the consignee of collective cursory curriculum, Carl Bernardo, South Africa. Across the ring in the red corner, the Tosca Berenice, assisting Paul, the Silver Fox, Fifield. From Essendon, Victoria, a big superstar in Japan and the United States of America, scaling 104.1 kilograms. Bad boy, black trunks with red and white. Pride of the Collingwood Footy Club, king of the crowning. Would you welcome, ladies and gentlemen, striving for substantive statutory sainthood, Australia's Slammin' Sam Greco!
Well, the Crown Casino in Melbourne is electric, folks. World Super Heavyweight title action between Carl Bernardo from South Africa and Australia's own Slammin' Sam Greco. Bernardo's past 12 fights, he has won by KO ever since losing to reigning K1 champion Ernesto Hoost late in 1996. Greco just opening it up with a leg kick to the lead leg and an inside leg kick. Tremendous publicity that Greco has received in the lead up to this fight. And there's that crushing inside leg kick again.
Sam Greco is one powerhouse fighter. I'm sure that Carl Bernardo will know that, whatever the outcome at the end of this fight.
Greco just checks the low kick. In Japan, they call him the Wild Beast. And will we see him unleash the beast here tonight on Carl Bernardo to claim the Super Heavyweight World title? A minute down in the first round.
Sam looking a picture of fitness.
Stand up, wipe your gloves, Sammy. That's it.
As he slips on that painted logo in the centre of the ring.
Can we have a time, please? Time. Can we have a towel in here, please? It's very
good
wet.
call there from referee Dave Hedgecock,
very wet.
just to wipe down that centre
Right
logo.
there. Just here. You see the moisture? See the moisture on the painting? Yes, okay.
Well, there's a good plug for Crazy John if ever I've seen one.
Timekeeper, let's go.
Sam Greco's most lethal weapon, that thunderous overhand right. Carl Bernardo, big leg kicker.
Bernardo fires back a couple of his own. Excellent leg check. But he doesn't want to get bailed up in the corner.
Well, a tentative start by both men so far. Greco just parrying away the kick. Comes thumping through with that right hand.
Right, step back. Step back. Step back. Fight on.
Both men looking sharp and focused so far.
Obviously, Greco slipping back to the K1 rules there and getting in for the grapple and the knee. But this is under freestyle rules. Knees are not allowed.
End of the first round of action. Mark the Hammer likes Sam Greco's defences so far. He's checking the kicks well, parrying the kicks well, and both men looking very focused.
Well, Sam Greco is looking a picture of focus and not making any mistakes. Carl Bernardo a little tentative, but I think just about any fighter in the world would be, with the likes of Sam Greco squaring off against them. As I look at the work rate in that round, there we see Bernardo firing the kick to the body of Sam Greco, and Greco retaliating with some hands, and that's where he's reverted to the K1 rules and gone in for the knee and just acknowledged, you know, sorry, I slipped back a bit there, to the K1 style of fighting, and this is freestyle, so the ref's broken him. But the statistics show Greco forging ahead, 5 punches, 8 kicks, connecting. Bernardo 1 and 1, so Greco absolutely blitzing there, and that was leg kicks, as I mentioned. Bernardo 4 above the waist kicks, Greco only 1, so Greco certainly forging ahead on the statistics sheet.
Strong opening by Sam Greco, the Aussie, against South Africa's Carl Bernardo. If you've just joined us, this is for the World Super Heavyweight title, coming to you from the Crown Casino in Melbourne. High right round kick there from Bernardo. Greco just flicks out the front kick off the rear leg. Overhand right there by Bernardo. Didn't quite find the mark. Goes with the rib kick. At the press conference earlier this week, Bernardo said he's trained harder than ever for this fight. And a win against Greco here tonight will really launch Bernardo on the world scene. Low spinning back kick there by Sam Greco.
Just wipe your gloves down.
There was a low spinning back kick aiming for the heel to cork the thigh, but it's just off target.
Minute down in this round. Inside leg kick there by Greco. And a very tentative Carl Bernardo cops an outside leg kick.
Of course, Sam Greco started his martial arts career in the style of Kyokushin karate, which is a full contact style of karate.
Well, leaping high round kick there by Sam Greco ignited the crowd.
As I said, a full contact style of karate, and he's trained with the likes of Dolph Lundgren, obviously Dolph Lundgren, the Hollywood movie star.
Greco barrels him up in the red corner and goes to town upstairs. Bernardo says, "Come on, Sam, is that all you've got for me?" Bernardo just choosing to sit in the red corner. Greco stalking him. Now Bernardo makes his move and transfers himself over into the neutral corner. Spinning back kick by Sam Greco. And there's the end of the second round. Agility there from slamming Sam Greco, Mark.
Well, Sam Greco showing a few of his karate kicks. Obviously, he was fighting the full contact style of fighting with no padding, so there's no gloves. And he's brought his traditional, or his roots, his background into the ring tonight, and just showed some of those kicks that he was brought up on. Here we see Greco just bailing up Bernardo into the blue corner and spinning with that heel. Unfortunately, not getting the desired result that he was after. And Bernardo lives to fight another round. Work rate, Greco, 6 clean punches to Bernardo 1, 3 connecting leg kicks to none from Bernardo, and we look above waist kicks, 4 to Greco, 3 to Bernardo. So Greco leading the stakes on the statistics scale.
Plenty of time. 4 seconds out.
Seconds out. Round 3.
Back in your corners. 1 second. Second one out of the ring. Okay, timekeeper. Go.
They touch gloves for the third round of action. This for the super heavyweight world title. High rib kick there from Carl Bernardo. One of his more favoured weapons so far in the fight. But looking at those statistics between the round, as Mark pointed out, he needs to go to town downstairs and work the leg kicks.
Just reach in.
Greco just trying to gauge his distance. Nice leg kick to the lead leg there from Slammin. Bernardo goes a 1-2, trying to probe through the defence of Sam Greco, but it's rock solid at the moment. And Greco at the moment, Mark, playing a real thinking man's fight.
Well, he's not rushing in blindly, because that's how you can get caught with shots that you don't necessarily see coming. He's rather playing the point game. Greco is just piling up the points, chipping away at the block that is Carl Bernardo. Carl Bernardo is a little tentative. He's got to start throwing a bit more technique if he hopes to be in the running here, rather than waiting for the big shot.
Nice leg check there from Sam Greco. His inside and outside leg kicks are working a treat for him so far. Really cracking them like a stock whip onto the lead thigh of Carl Bernardo, and you can see the red welts on the rear thigh and just above the knee of the lead leg of Bernardo. Greco has him back into the neutral corner. About to go to town upstairs. Bernardo invites him in and just smiles at Greco. But Greco isn't going to do anything silly. He'll bide his time.
Greco almost tentative, lets Bernardo off.
Greco saying, well, Carl, you're taunting me. Why don't you come back and give some of your own? And there's the stare down between them. There's no love lost between these two, Mark.
Certainly not, as the fighters exchange words at the break. I couldn't quite understand what they were saying because of their mouth guards, but you can bet it wasn't a nice pair of shorts, Carl. As we have a look, or as I have a look at the statistics sheet, punches 3 to Sam, connecting good clean ones. 1 Bernardo, 1 kick Bernardo, and 1 above waist kick Bernardo. So he's only basically thrown 3 good clean techniques in that round, Carl Bernardo.
Because he's just covering the kick sign coming right hand, left hook, kick.
Seconds out.
Stay back. Let's go. Ready, timekeeper.
Into the 4th round of action. Greco lethal with those leg kicks so far. There was a nice one to the inside lead thigh. Bernardo sweeps downstairs with one of his own to the rear leg. Greco trying to barrel him over against the ropes. Bernardo just toying with him again. Has only a slight height advantage over Greco. Barrels him up in the red corner. Look at Sam Greco go to town. But Carl Bernardo fires out the leg kick. He absorbed it all and he invites Greco back in again.
Well, what a machine Sam Greco was there. Unfortunately for him, a lot of those punches landing on the forearms and the gloves. Carl Bernardo, good defence in the corner, and as you can see, he come out cleanly. But nevertheless, Sam still has a superior work rate, and he's just pumping that technique through and just clocking up the score on the judges' cards if this fight goes the distance.
Those leg kicks will take the starch right out of Carl Bernardo.
Well, they're certainly going to impair his movement, Michael. I don't know about the starch, but they're going to slow him down a little.
Carl, you've got to do a bit more, please.
And we can see the welts appearing just below the line of his shorts there.
Spinning hook kick there by Sam Greco, didn't quite find the mark. Referee Dave Hitchcock telling Carl Bernardo to lift his work rate. So far it's been all Sam Greco. Nice leg kick there by the bad boy. Just trying to dummy the leg kick and come over the top with the right hand. We saw him knock out Simon Sweet at the National Tennis Centre with that technique on his kickboxing debut. Nice inside leg kick there by Greco. Drops Bernardo in the red corner. The South African is hurt. 3, 4. He's in a world of pain in the red corner.
7, 8. And Greco's just chopped that leg.
End of the 4th round. Carl Bernardo limps back to his corner. One very sorry and hurt man.
Well, you can bet that Bernardo is going to show a little bit more respect now to Aussie Sam Greco. He just clubbed that shin. He lifted his shin and Greco just thundered through. As we see Greco thunder through with that leg kick and just take the shin of Bernardo. And he just walks away and says, what do you think of that one, son? No laughing now. But what can I say? He's putting himself in the corner, Bernardo, and just letting Greco tick off, and that cannot be good for him. That's not a good game plan. He's got to keep moving and keep technique throwing at the same time.
Just widen up the floor. I'm trying to be a bit more active, otherwise I'm going to... Sorry, guys. Sorry.
Round 5.
Come on, let's go. You ready? Oh, God. Let's put it on. Timekeeper. Just hang on a second, sorry. Let's go.
They touch gloves for the 5th round of action. Watch the trajectory on the leg kicks of Sam Greco. He brings them up and just chops them down like an axe chopping down a big tree.
Bernardo's lead leg certainly tells a story. There's welts and bruises all over that.
Sam Greco, the machine exploding upon Carl Bernardo. There's the inside leg kick again. Another sweeping inside leg kick. Bernardo goes down to the neutral corner.
Well, I don't know what Bernardo's trying to show here. Maybe he's trying to show how much punishment he can absorb.
7, 8. You fall over, put a count on anyway. Okay,
I'll tell you what, it's been batting practice for Sam Greco with those leg kicks so far.
Bernardo's doing a brilliant job of impersonating a punching bag for Sam Greco up to this rate.
There it is, another leg kick. Bernardo goes down, grimacing in pain.
2, 3.
The confident Sam Greco bounding about the ring.
6.
The crowd out of their seats.
Mate, please pick it up.
What's the chances of Sam throwing another leg kick here, Michael? Pretty good, I'd say.
I'll tell you what, Mark. Bernardo's defences in the leg department leave a lot to be desired. He goes down from another leg kick. Sam Greco issuing all sorts of punishment. Just looks at referee Dave Hedgecock. He's got a heart the size of a lion.
6, 7. Now let's stop for you. Fall down one more time, it's over. Okay, fight on.
So Bernardo's going to have to stay up. If he's down, if he goes down again, that's the end of the fight.
Ooh, another crushing leg kick. Sam Greco just stalking.
Well, he can sense victory now.
A kick to the midsection from Greco. Bernardo just looks at him. Another inside leg kick. Bernardo goes down again.
I'm going to call up Richard Corner before I start counting.
Dave Hedgecock.
Tell you, I'm going to give it a call a non-fight. If you don't, one more and it's finished, you understand? One more time on the ground.
A stern warning now.
Dave Hedgecock doing his utmost to keep this.
Big leg kick again from Sam Greco at the end of the round. No, it's victory. It's a world title for the bad boy. Slam him, Sam Greco. He's won it. Carl Bernardo took one too many leg kicks. Slam him, Sam Greco is champion of the world.
And Carl Bernardo's leg looks like someone has taken to it with a baseball bat. It is absolutely chewed up and busted up. And he is not going to be walking tomorrow. That's an elated Sam Greco. Comes over to congratulate him on the great fight. But there you see those chopping leg kicks. Doubles it up with the punches. Chops him down again with the leg kick into the top of the thigh. Bernardo just standing there. Really, he was just seeing how much punishment he could take. I don't know for what reason. But, he's a tough boy, nevertheless, to get in there and weather the storm. But Greco was always looking the goods.
Ladies and gentlemen, right on the bell of the 5th round, the winner and new WAKO Super Heavyweight Champion of the world, Slammer Sam Greco.
And what a great show of sportsmanship there from Carl Bernardo, being the first to congratulate the new world champion, Sam Greco.
As you said during the week at the press conference, a win tonight is a dream come true.
Howard, like I said, for those who were at the press conference and those who weren't, world title for me has always been a childhood dream. Come May 24th, 1998 at the Crown Casino, the most prestigious venue in the world as far as I'm concerned. Here I am, world champion. I'll try and keep this as brief. I promise myself that I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. I'd like to thank some very special people. First of all, Mr. Lloyd Williams, Jamie Bartel, Anne Peacock, and for all those from the Crown Casino who are responsible for allowing this event to go on. Thank you very much. Secondly, a gentleman whom some of you might know, some of you might not, but this gentleman has been by my side for the last 5 years and has dictated me, or has made me understand the wrongs and right about life in general and about business, and kickboxing is business for me. That's Mr. Graham Burke, my manager, my business advisor. Thank you very, very, very much. Can you please come in the ring, Graham? Please. And his lovely wife, Robin. I'd like to thank Triple M. As you might know, Triple M and Fox FM the biggest Oz stereo network in the nation. I'd like to thank them for sponsoring the event. And last to Mr. Tarek Solak for allowing this event to go on. Thank you very, very much. And my lovely wife, Chris, wherever she is, for bringing great support. For those who are involved in sport, regardless of whether it's kickboxing or boxing, you all know how special it is to have someone who loves you and someone important beside you understands. So thank you very, very much. And thank all of you for making this night possible. Thank you. Hope to see you once again. You might have thought I forgot him. Mr. Bernardo, thank you very much for coming out. It takes a great man with a lot of courage to come out and fight in a stranger's country. Thank you very much. Have a good fight.
Well, a sensational end to tonight's action card with the world champion being crowned Slam Sam Greco from Australia by knockout over Bernardo. From myself, Michael Chavello, and my verbal sparring partner, former Australian Cruiserweight Muay Thai champion Mark the Hammer Castanini, thank you for joining us here at the Crown Casino, and until next time, take care.